The message came through WhatsApp while I was sitting in a refugee camp outside Nairobi, helping distribute medical supplies. After 3 months without reliable internet, I finally had enough signal to download my messages. Hey sis, great news, sold the family beach house for $2 million. Thanks for being abroad and making this easy. Already transferred mom's stuff to storage. Enjoy Africa, Derek. I stared at the screen, the heat of the Kenyan sun suddenly feeling cold against my skin. Our family beach house, the one our grandmother left specifically to me, sold. My hands shook as I scrolled through the earlier messages I'd missed. Cleaning out the beach house. So many memories. Found a buyer. They love the vintage details. Closing next week. Mom's stuff will be safe. The most recent message was a photo of Derek holding a champagne glass on what looked like a new yacht. Captioned, "Living the dream." I tried calling him. No answer. I tried the family lawyer. Disconnected. I even tried calling the beach house landline. The number had been reassigned. Dr. Morgan? One of the nurses touched my shoulder. Are you alright? Family emergency. I managed. I need to get home. But the vaccination program. I'll be back. I promised. Already pulling up flight websites on my phone. This can't wait. 42 hours later, I landed at LAX. Exhausted, unshowered, and furious. I'd tried reaching Derek dozens of times during layovers. His phone went straight to voicemail. His social media showed him partying in Cabo. I drove my rental car straight to the beach house in Malibu. My grandmother's house. My house. The one place that had always felt like home. A construction crew was tearing out the front deck. "Excuse me," I called out, parking haphazardly. "What's happening here?" A man in a hard hat approached. "Ma'am, this is a closed construction site. The new owners." "I'm the owner," I said firmly. "This is my house." He looked confused. "The Washingtons bought this property 6 weeks ago. They hired us for renovations." "The Washingtons?" My mind raced. "Can I speak with them?" "They're in Milan, but I can call the project manager." 20 minutes later, a woman in her 50s arrived in a Tesla, looking concerned. "I'm Patricia Washington. There seems to be some confusion? My brother sold you this house," I said, trying to stay calm, "but he didn't own it." "I do." Patricia's face went pale. "That's impossible. We paid $2 million. We have all the paperwork." "Paperwork signed by Derek Morgan?" I asked. "Not Elena Morgan?" The seller was Derek Morgan. "Yes. He said he inherited it from his grandmother." "Can I see the documents?" Patricia hesitated, then made a call. "Our lawyer will meet us at the house in an hour. This is concerning." While we waited, I pulled up documents on my phone, my grandmother's will, the deed transfer, tax records, everything backed up to the cloud. Thank God for digital copies. "This house has been in my name for 6 years," I explained. "My grandmother left it to me specifically, not to the family, not to my brother, to me." But Derek had keys, knew the history, showed us family photos. "Because he's my brother, he visited." "But visiting doesn't make you the owner." The Washington's lawyer arrived, a sharp-dressed man named Harrison who looked increasingly uncomfortable as he reviewed my documents. "Mrs. Washington," he said slowly, "I'm afraid Ms. Morgan is correct. The deed has always been in her name. These signatures, they're forgeries." Patricia sank into a patio chair. "We've been defrauded?" "It appears so," Harrison confirmed. "We need to contact the authorities immediately." 2 hours later, I sat in the Malibu Sheriff's Station giving my statement. Detective Rivera took notes while shaking her head. "Your brother took advantage of you being overseas with limited communication," she summarized. "Forged your signature, created fake documents, and sold property he didn't own. He knew I was in Kenya for Doctors Without Borders." I said, "I go every year for 3 months. He planned this. We'll put out a warrant for his arrest." "Do you know where he might be?" I pulled up his Instagram. "Cabo San Lucas. Apparently, living it up on the Washington's money." "Not for long," Rivera assured me. Patricia Washington and her husband Robert were devastated but surprisingly understanding. We met the next day at a coffee shop to discuss the situation. "We should have been more careful," Robert admitted, "but Derek was so convincing. He knew every detail about the house, the family history." "He would," I said. "We spent summers there as kids. Grandma lived there year-round. It was her pride and joy." "Why did she leave it only to you?" Patricia asked gently. I smiled sadly. "Because I was the only one who visited her. Derek came for the beach parties. My sister came when she needed money. I came to spend time with Grandma. Every weekend I could manage during med school." She said I was the only one who loved the house for the memories, not the real estate value. She was right about Derek. "Apparently," Robert said grimly. "I'm sorry you're caught in this," I said. "I know your victims too. We'll get our money back." Patricia said. Or most of it. Our lawyer says we can go after Derek civilly as well as the criminal charges. But this is your family, this must be devastating. It was, but not entirely surprising. Derek had always been the golden child who could do no wrong. Charming, handsome, perpetually broke despite our parents' generosity. He'd started multiple businesses with family money, each one failing spectacularly, but he always had an excuse, always had a new scheme. Just a small loan. He'd say, I'm good for it. I'd stopped lending him money after he'd borrowed my car in college and sold it, claiming it was stolen. Our parents had believed him, they always believed him. Your brother played the long game, Detective Rivera told me when she called with an update. He started laying groundwork months ago, told neighbors you'd decided to sell, had mail forwarded, even filed a fake power of attorney. He's always been a planner, I admitted, just usually for smaller cons. Well, he's graduated to felony fraud. Mexican authorities picked him up. He's being extradited. The next few weeks were a blur of legal procedures, paperwork, and difficult conversations. The house sale was voided. Fraudulent transactions have no legal standing. The Washingtons got most of their money back from the escrow that hadn't been released yet, though Derek had blown through about $400,000 in his 6-week spending spree. The worst part was calling our mother. There must be a mistake, she insisted. Derek would never. He's not capable of. Mom, he forged my signature. He sold my house. He's in jail. But he said you agreed. He said you didn't want it anymore. That Africa had changed your perspective on material things. And you believed him? Without talking to me? Silence. Then, he's always been so persuasive. He's always been a liar. Mom, you just never wanted to see it. The family imploded. My sister, Kara, called from New York, furious, not at Derek, but at me. You had him arrested? Your own brother? He committed fraud. Kara, he stole a $2 million property. It's just a house. Family is more important than property. Then why did he steal it? She hung up on me. But the most interesting call came from someone unexpected, Derek's ex-girlfriend, Tanya. I saw the news, she said. I'm sorry this happened, but I'm not surprised. Elena, there's something you should know. This isn't his first time. What do you mean? Remember his business partner, Jean? The one who supposedly embezzled from their startup? Yeah, Derek lost everything in that deal. No, Tanya said firmly. Derek framed Jean, forged his signature on withdrawals, cooked the books. Jean was too proud to fight it, just walked away. But Derek bragged about it when he was drunk. Said Jean was too trusting, too naive. Why didn't you say anything? Would your family have believed me? The ex-girlfriend with an axe to grind? Besides, Derek threatened me, said he'd ruin my career if I talked. Would you testify now? Absolutely. Jean would too. He's got evidence he never used. The trial was set for 6 months later. In the meantime, I moved back into the beach house, though it felt different now. Violated. The Washingtons had started renovations based on false ownership, and I had to decide what to do about the changes. Keep them, Patricia suggested when she stopped by. We designed them with love for this house. Even if we can't live here, consider it our apology for the mess. You have nothing to apologize for, I said. You were victims too. Still, we should have verified better. Our eagerness to own a piece of Malibu history made us sloppy. I learned more about my brother's lies in those months. He told the Washingtons that I was a trust fund kid playing doctor in Africa, that I'd begged him to handle the sale because the house held painful memories, that our grandmother would have wanted the house to go to a family who'd appreciate it. He even cried, Robert told me, said it was breaking his heart to let it go, but he knew we'd take care of it. Oscar-worthy performance, I muttered. Apparently so. He should have stuck to acting instead of fraud. The trial was brutal. Derek, tanned and in an orange jumpsuit, played the victim. His lawyer painted me as a vindictive sister jealous of her charismatic brother. The family dysfunction was laid bare for public consumption. But the evidence was overwhelming. The forged signatures, the fake documents, Jin's testimony about the previous fraud, Tanya's recordings of Derek bragging about his schemes. The worst moment came when prosecutors played a voicemail Derek had left for a friend. Elena's been in Africa for 2 months. No cell service, no internet. By the time she gets back, I'll be in the Caymans with enough money to last forever. She'll never even know until it's too late. The jury deliberated for less than 2 hours. Guilty on all counts. The judge sentenced Derek to 8 years in prison and ordered full restitution. Our mother sobbed. Kara stormed out. I sat quietly, feeling nothing but exhaustion. You did the right thing, Patricia Washington told me outside the courthouse. He would have kept escalating. Next time someone might have lost more than money. She was right. The investigation had uncovered other victims' elderly neighbors Derek had charmed into investments, a local charity he'd skimmed from while volunteering, a girlfriend whose credit cards he'd stolen. Your brother is a predator, Detective Rivera told me. He just uses charm instead of violence. I returned to Kenya 2 months after the trial, back to the refugee camp, back to work that mattered, but first, I made one important stop. I visited Derek in prison. Come to gloat? He asked, his usual charm replaced with bitterness. No, come to understand. Why, Derek? You could have just asked. I'd have helped you. Helped? He laughed bitterly. Like you helped before? With your lectures about responsibility? Your disappointment? No thanks, sis. I wanted what was mine. The house was never yours. It should have been. He slammed his hand on the table. I'm the oldest, the son, but Grandma always loved you more. Perfect Elena with her medical degree and her humanitarian work. She loved me because I loved her, not her assets. Easy to say when you got the assets anyway. I studied my brother, still handsome, still arrogant, still unable to see his own faults. The beach house is being turned into a retreat for doctors with PTSD, I said quietly. Free housing for medical professionals who need to heal. Grandma would have loved that. Derek's face twisted. You're giving it away? A $2 million property? I'm using it to help people. Like she used it to help us, to give us somewhere safe, somewhere beautiful. That's what you never understood, Derek. It was never about the money. Everything's about money, he said flatly. No, I stood to leave. That's why you're in here and I'm not. I walked out and didn't look back. Some family you're born into, some family you choose. And sometimes, protecting yourself from the family you're born into is the healthiest choice you can make. The beach house reopened 6 months later as the Rose Morgan Healing Center, named for our grandmother. Doctors, nurses, and EMTs suffering from burnout or trauma could stay for free, finding peace in the ocean views and therapy programs. At the dedication, Patricia Washington cut the ribbon. She and Robert had become major donors, their near loss transforming into purpose. Your grandmother would be proud, Patricia said. You've turned something ugly into something beautiful. As I watched the first residents arrive, exhausted healers needing healing themselves, I thought about family. Derek was serving his time, unrepentant. Mom still sent him care packages and insisted he was misunderstood. Kara had blocked my number. But here, in Grandma's house, a new kind of family was forming, one based on service, on healing, on using privilege to help others. Derek had tried to steal $2 million. Instead, he'd freed me to create something worth so much more. The sheriff had been right to arrest him mid-celebration. He'd been living the dream. He just never understood whose dream it really was.